Welcome back, everyone. We're just about ready to get into our second set, which will be happening from the beginning. We're taking it from minute 0 so that you don't miss any of the action as OMG and FPX go head-to-head in Chengdu. We've also swapped out our caster. Welcome to the desk, Rusty.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Ready to get into another OMG set from the start. I got to do it yesterday. I get to watch more OMG. Yes.
I can't tell if there's a /S at the end of that sentence
Oh
for
no,
some sarcasm.
I'm never sarcastic.
Man.
It's literally not
unimaginable. Impossible.
But let's move past that because there's a draft on our screen, Dom, to talk about this one.
Absolutely. OMG, you can see it on your screen. Swain, Nocturne, Swain, Kled, and Gnar. We talked about this a little bit during the break while you were getting set up. It's a this composition is the equivalent of a Warwick ultimate. They want to be outside of vision and then just woof, come soaring at your face.
It's like when the father wants to spook 2-year-old child. You know, he'll turn off the lights, Nocturne will press darkness, and then they'll start screaming really loudly and charge at them. And the child will get really disoriented and scared. That's basically OMG's composition, except that it's got actual damage behind it. FPX on the other side have got a much more delicate version of that. It's very execution heavy and does require a decently high mechanical skill for the individuals. Of course, we pretend Mundo wasn't there for a hot second. That'd be the
high mechanical ceiling.
Yeah, he just throws whatever it is his skin has at them, and that usually works. So that's the only real difference there. I think that for the side of FPX, disengage, play pokey, and just outplay your opponents. For OMG, ram your head at it.
It's a simple strategy, and if it works, right? Dogpile onto the enemy team, find those kills, and jab as deep as you can to open up the game. That said, we have now gotten out of pick and ban, and we're starting the game from minute 0. So it's time to hear from the crowd what they think about OMG versus FPX. Unexpected volume from the FPX fans.
Especially in the Chengdu arena. Yeah, for OMG's home arena, I should say, not just the city, but OMG does reside in Chengdu. Now, the first place that we do have to look, Dom, is actually the one that is on your screen.
The Kled mid on Icon.
Started very strongly against Cool, blows a potion at level 1, and Kled mid is starting to crop up more and more ever since Doinby has brought this one about. Now, it's always banned from Doinby, I will preface it by saying that much, but he's got the Zoe matchup. He's going to be a big, brutish mid laner that Zoe has a hard time actually taking down. Now, Zoe has gone towards Electrocute as well. That's not exactly your summon Airy that you're used to seeing from a Zoe.
Those are the big, meaty hits.
Yeah.
He's looking for. Spelled Thieves.
But that
Sleepy
requires
Trouble
like
Bubble.
the full combo to hit that.
Well, yeah, the Ignite counts as well, and you get the more Sparkles auto attack if you're in range.
I wonder if that is purpose to de-scarl Kled. You know, it's designed to pick your burst more appropriately, not poke him down, but remove the Kled.
Ooh. 2-man knockup, and Shelly flashes back, and it should be noted, it is Shelly and World 6 playing today, as opposed to Xuan P and Mountain, who have been seeing some success with OMG. And again, this is OMG that is 4-8. This is a team that is chasing down the last playoff spot, and they are working real hard. Anything they can do to get these wins and separate themselves from their competition, this is a team. This is what they will do.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams tied in the standings actually right now, but last time they met, FPX 2-0'd OMG, so they are technically ahead in the standings just because of that head-to-head. However, this can equalize for OMG and can put them one rung ahead of their opponents, yet they are still both chasing TOP that you saw in the last set for that 4th place spot.
Who are tied with EDG.
Yeah.
This is the world.
They're tied with Snake. They're one away from EDG, I think it is.
Yes, I see EDG at 7-6. You know what? We'll get into the semantics of it a little bit later. Because again, we're keeping our attention here.
You're right.
And Alex, thinking about a gank bottom, sitting in Tribush with double buff. Perhaps trying to find himself a World 6. Or just following up on the lack of flash from Shelly.
Nice little hook there.
Ooh, that one lands, and the Vision of Empire. Oh, wow! First blood! As Shelly managed to land the burst onto LWX.
Yeah, no problems at all there from OMG in the 2v2. No flash on Shelly. Doesn't really matter too much. Now remember that you're seeing the runes of Shelly on your screen. He's also an Exhaust Swain. Doesn't have the teleport, doesn't have the ignite. 5 is the one who's going to have the ignite, of course, on that Shen, and that is a part of what secures the kill. Now, World 6 mid.
Ooh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands, and Cool flashes away from World 6. So already we're starting to see OMG open an advantage with these lanes.
And most of that is just the bottom lane 2v2 being that much stronger. Alex, whilst he was trying to gank, you know, a lot of the time when someone comes in to gank for you, you play a bit more up, a bit more forward, and a bit more aggressively, usually to bait spells out of your opponents. But LWX didn't intend to do that. It's again in the middle lane. I don't know if this one's possible even without the flash from Cool, unless he steps up a bit too far.
He's walking up as the wave is pushing away from him. World 6 is still hovering around the wings, but will complete his recall as he picks up Challenging Smite. And Cool keeps the wave pushed into the turret, so that means Icon will have to catch this under the turret. A little bit more difficult, though we are seeing an advantage for Xiang open in the top lane. He's 6 CS ahead of Gimgoon and got a ward onto Alex's Krug camp. So all three lanes are looking pretty good for OMG so far.
Yeah, a good little early lead there for Xiang. Of course, something that should increase to around 10 CS, but nothing too much beyond that one. It's an airy Gnar as well, so you're not going to see the press the attack or anything super aggressively in the on-hit route. However, that is where he will still most likely build. The area is much more purpose to pokes with the Qs. Oh lord.
5 over the wall.
Oh no.
Ooh, you hate to see that happen.
Cool
Sleepy
picked up
Trouble
a flash.
lands and he picked up his flash because World 6 flashed over the wall to try and get the kill, passes over the spell, and gives up his life because of it. Even Icon is forced to flash away.
Zoe things. That's really tragic for World 6. I respect the idea. Now, Cool did not have flash, so by going over the wall, you are setting yourself up to get a free kill. But Cool's able to pick up your one and just flash to safety with the rest of his team. And that's one of those things that you really hate to see it.
Yeah.
There's not much else that you can really do, because in any other world, that was a kill that you secure.
But in this world, Zoe can do that. Picking up the flash off the back of a wasted attempt from World 6. Here we go. Just over the wall as 5 misses his shadow dash.
5's the real tragedy here.
Ooh.
Just headbutts the
Face
wall.
first. The flash, and he drops it right there.
Cool even has the ignite just prior, so maximizes his damage output with these spell thieves. And remember that a lot of the bottom lane was very fast on the rotate there. Crisp was just nearby, but 5 was there well first. So the 2v2 in the bottom lane, so far as a style, definitely want to be unlocked from their lane and go assist the rest of the map. That's what we've seen from them thus far, and I would expect to see a bit more of that, particularly with the Rakan and the Shen.
Oh yeah.
Just as styles.
Of course, we know LWX is no AD carry to shy away from a chance to dive a lane.
That's one of those unfortunate things, though, where LWX is the same style regardless. And even if Rakan is not there, even if Crisp is unavailable, he may still be in that position.
We'll see if Chelly will be on top of that as well. I'm fairly certain their models were intersecting, but that might have just been the cloak of Crisp dragging behind him as he battle dances back away from the Shadow Dash.
Slippery little feathers on the backside of Crisp, so he'll be okay on the Rakan. Now, mid lane is a place that has started to go slightly more in the favor of Cool. Where when you look at a Kled into any matchup, usually it's the first recall where things start to go more your direction. He's a bruiser, but he's a bruiser that needs those items, those first big spikes. The Tiamat for wave clear is a good first start. Titanic, if you're going to go aggressively into killing people after clearing waves, is the secondary option.
Oh,
there he goes.
Charge. Now, Alex is right there. Icon, I'm not 100% certain if he thinks he can take this. He actually does get the kill, but trades himself over in the 1-for-1.
Alex was so ready, though.
He was right there.
And Icon's one of those players. We used to call him the Hitman, and that's because he would take you out in lane. Alex seems to be super aware of how Icon wants to play. It's the
Love it.
But he puts up the emote. Now, for the side of FPX, the mistake was on Cool missing the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. That was the moment where Icon thought he could go, and he absolutely could. He can take that 1v1 from that position. Cool still with no flash, so he had the timings down, but because Alex was there, the trade was made. So that's super smart, mostly from the side of FPX. Yet at the same time, I do not fault OMG's mid laner for taking that play, knowing full well that he can actually get the kill.
Again, this is a legacy matchup between Icon and Cool. These are two long-esteemed players. Cool, of course, one of the longest veterans in the LPL currently, going up against longtime rival of Icon. So good to see that Cool is still saying, hey, maybe not being, OMG might not be the team that went to Rift Rivals last year, but you should still be afraid of this
You
mid
have to
lane.
remember that Icon's first split in the LPL was replacing Cool.
Yeah.
So there's more there than just long-time rivals. They are rivals for a very different reason. It's not their longevity in the league. It's the Cool has bounced from team to team after Icon took his spot from him.
In OMG, yeah. Long time ago, but today we're still seeing Icon saying, "This is why I'm on OMG." And currently it's netting him a 5 CS deficit in that mid lane as Cool is keeping pace on that Zoe. And we do constantly see World 6 maneuvering around and trying to counter out some of this vision to perhaps unlock Icon, as that charge is going to become so important later on.
Oh yeah, I mean we spoke towards the composition as well of OMG, and Icon is going to be a major part of that. He is charging in the front of the lines here with a Nocturne. So if he's dealing damage or if he is a giant threat, then FPX have immediate problems they have to deal with in those engage tools. Navigating around it is often a job of dodging where the Kled goes, but when Nocturne actually turns off the lights, you're not even sure where he's going.
Exactly.
So it's a very difficult and awkward thing to navigate on FPX's side here, especially as someone like Zoe. You can't use your ultimate to dodge the Kled for the most part, because you'll just be coming right back, and Kled will probably still be in the same
unless
position.
you can
You'd have to
perfectly time your portal jump as he passes over where you would be.
But
or
where
would have been.
someone like a Lucian or a Rakan can dodge out of the way, Cool's not going to have that easy of a time. And he may be the one that gets constantly exploited. And I feel like stylistically, if you want to beat FPX, that's what you do.
OMG World 6 looking for a gank sweeper as he steps up out of the brush, denies the vision. That's the paranoia.
Oh, the dive.
Kled is held mid. That's the teleport coming in from LWX to follow up, but they did look to find the kill on Gimgoon. They need to chase it down though as LWX dives in. There's the paranoia, but the AoE stacks up as FPX chase themselves down a handful of kills.
And all of FPX arrive. Crisp able to arrive to the party and get the engage after. LWX flashes forwards as he always wants to do and gets himself that first kill. 2 quick kills in the kitty now for LWX, and he's really going to start feeling himself on this Lucian as a result of that. FPX, great counter measures, knowing that Gimgoon was dead, but still knowing they can get the kills on top of it.
And that's how close it was. Just stepping up into the vision, OMG have the time to respond.
You have to respect that from Xiang as well, pulling him towards World 6 with the fear there. But World 6 is the one tanking the turret, which is the real tragedy there. Not too sure how he ended up getting that aggro. Xiang must have disengaged the tower. Nonetheless, that's where the kills come across, and that's where the easy follow-up is available. FunPlus Phoenix.
Yeah, Rift Herald taken off of the back of the play, even using that Pillar of Filth to tell World 6 to slow down and stop chasing him. FPX might get the chance to start opening up the map, or at the very least push back OMG's safe lanes, which could enable FPX to look for some more threat later on and deny some of the safer play from these strong lanes of OMG. But we'll see where that Rift Herald ends up going, because for the time being, we're still looking for some core item completions out of FPX.
Yeah, once we get those first big items on the board, FPX will scale up super hard, particularly the Zoe. Luden's Echo Spike is a very big deal in that mid lane. And for LWX, because he's got the 2 kills and he's accelerated, there's his item right now. Blade of the Wrong King done. Starting to feel real good for himself. 12 minutes for a first item is actually pretty decent timing here, really. You contrast that to his opponent, I will say that the item is done, but the Rod of Ages isn't stacked. It isn't scaled. So
Done.
yeah.
But that does mean that Infernal Dragon is up, and OMG are already trying to set control around the pit. They do have that item from LWX, so might be ready to fight, as Scryer's Bloom will spot out this attempt from OMG to control vision over the pit.
Hello.
And the control ward, flash, shadow dash. They've found Alex, but there's a quickness to try to counter that. Teleport coming in from Gimgoon to join in from behind, as they've already killed 5, and the charge from Icon. Gimgoon walks it up, and OMG are backing out. Late teleport from Xiang completes it, but he's nowhere near Meganar and is unable to go in and flash over the wall from Cool.
Yeah, Xiang completes a teleport just to make sure OMG can continue to disengage. At the end of the day, OMG were the ones who pressed too far forwards in their attempt to engage, and they just get obliterated by the damage coming out of that Zoe. So FPX fighting in the choke points, nullifying the engage attempts from OMG. That's very expertly done from them. Very well navigated to even get themselves the advantage from those moments.
And it's already up to
so squishy.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Denying those ganks has got FPX 1,600 gold ahead of OMG. As we already said, most of that right now is on LWX, so he is slightly accelerated, but not able to do too much with it yet. And Now Cool has blue buff. If Zoe was annoying before, how could Zoe get more annoying? Because it's already like, you're pushing the boundaries of how annoying a champion can be. We didn't think there could be something worse than Timo, as there's now a dive. That's a submarine chase onto LWX. There they go. World 6 happy to tank the turret, gets the kill and walks off.
And that's a lot better from OMG. It's a quick, clean kill. It's a pick more than anything else. They're not taking the raw 5v5s yet. Rift Herald going to be summoned in the mid lane. FPX counterplay with no hesitation. You're still really impressed with that much so far. They should be able to get themselves a turret.
Even using that Herald to break it down. Boom! Big hit.
What would make Zoe more annoying?
They're still walking it up to the next one, though. And OMG, they're trying to answer.
Oh, they'll try.
Poor guys. They're so slow, though. Already, you can see the charge even diving onto Icon to force him away from the next one. As Rift Herald is allowing them to take these hits and break down the tier 2. FPX opening up the map.
Yeah, they just break 2 turrets in the middle lane as well, not in a side lane. Not only is it an influx of gold, but their control over the map is just so large now. And Icon's life is miserable. Now he has to play against a Zoe that is completely unlocked. And it's not Icon's life that is the most miserable, however. It is Xiang, and it is Chelly and 5 that have to try and deal with that. It's World 6 that has to deal with Cool running around in his jungle, taking away his camps, or threatening his health bar. It is not a great time to be an OMG jungler.
It's not a great time to be an OMG jungler, indeed. Because now this Infernal Dragon is being picked up by FPX as they move their pressure onto the next neutral objective. Now we're looking at those outer tier 1s up next as there are still 5 minutes for the Baron, but look at the pings from OMG. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, just dive it again.
Yeah, a big part of the combo is missing, however, with World 6 not having that paranoia. Icon does have the charge on Kled though, and LWX, the rest of FPX are rotating already. They've got the bottom lane turret still up and standing, however, FPX, they've chosen to not go down there. They've chosen to go to the top lane. And I don't know if that is just because they want to feel more safe. I would expect that is the answer. If they can keep their top turret standing, then it's a point to defend. But from the looks of it,
it's such low health.
Oh, they changed targets.
Look at the health on that turret. That's nothing. 46. And no regeneration.
That's a stiff breeze. Knock that one down.
A gentle breeze, one might even postulate.
A breeze. We'll knock that one down.
To begin with. So I think bubblegum. If Zoe were chewing bubblegum and like blowing the really annoying loud chewy bubbles, that would make her more annoying.
Okay, so you want to make her more annoying in like even aesthetically.
Sure, yeah. Because we didn't think there was a champion that could be more annoying than Timo. And then Zoe existed.
I didn't think Timo could be any more annoying than Timo until they released Space Timo. Astronaut Timo is the most annoying. You could do, you know what happened, that bug with Amumu when Sad
the global
robot,
laugh?
was it?
Yeah,
when the robot Amumu came out, every time he laughed it was global. So Amumu became meta for a week because you would just laugh and everyone would not know where you are.
And it was the mind games. Oh, he's ganking.
Yeah. So I think if you did that for Zoe, like every time she blew raspberries, because she does that when she ults.
When she portal jumps, you just hear...
It was just a global raspberry.
Ugh.
I thought that would be amazing.
That would be real rough.
And also in the process of thinking about that, Dom, I came up with an idea that I thought might make her better.
Is this your Twitter rant? Is this the one that you posted on Twitter?
By better, I mean more balanced.
Okay.
And less ridiculous. So I think what should happen with Zoe is that you should be able to pick your summoner spell. But you get limited options at certain points in the game. And like Unsealed Spellbook works, you can only pick it once at a time.
Okay.
So you can't pick Redemption until level, I don't know, 10?
Sure.
Because that way you can't get the broken one.
Try to gate her power at certain levels.
Because Redemption's broken at level 1.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, it has a flat damage to minion waves.
Real strong. Yeah, and it heals up lanes and damages enemies, so it's a straight up deficit for the enemy team.
At Riot
It's a good one. At Rusty Lol.
Well, I mean,
with all of your thoughts on what would make Zoe more annoying.
Yeah, if Riot's listening, I hope you are. I've just solved the problem for you.
Now you've got it. There you go. Maybe an evolved mechanic like Kaisa or Kha'Zix. After she blows 7 raspberries, she gets access to Ignite. Anyways, we've got ourselves a nice comp farm fest as we did have the lane swap out of Chelly and 5 in the top lane. LWX and Crisp were matching that. We can see the junglers also interacting on that side of the map by constantly skirmishing over vision. FPX seem to be the one who have gotten the better in that, forcing Chelly and 5 back. But that means that OMG now get the chance to look bottom for Gimgoon.
The charge is on.
That's the charge, and there it is! The screaming in the darkness combination, paranoia and the dive. Gimgoon goes low,
That's so
and Gimgoon
dirty.
dies.
Oh, there's nothing he can do. He didn't know where it was going, and he ran straight into the Kled.
Whoa, over the wall. Chris with the chase gets the kill. They found 5 as well. He is dead, and now they're running after Icon, and Xiang slowed by the visions of Empire. Alex flashes forward, subjugation, sleepy trouble, bubble, and a paddle start for more damage as he gets swept back, but that's FPX chasing LWX.
Oh, he thought about it. That's not LWX. He didn't flash over the wall.
Yeah. Doesn't take the shotgun approach at all.
They're going to disengage though, OMG, and they will have to use both of their summoner spells to get out. Now, it feels like this game has become a case of anything you can do, I can do better. OMG engage, FPX with the counter, always get that +1, that little extra on top of it. Now, this is the nastiest combo I think you'll ever see as a side laner. Because he has no idea where that Kled's coming from, and he just picks a direction. Naturally, you would expect he's coming down the lane, but that was a flank. So very well done from OMG to navigate that part. And then even better here on the return from Crisp and from Cool. They'll get their way through. Those are the second kills, and it looked like it could have been a lot more after that pillar from Alex, but they flashed themselves to safety.
And also, it should be noted, the strategy, there's an extra step to that we didn't even talk about. World 6 used Paranoia, wasn't in range to hit Gimgoon with it, and 5 used Stand United on World 6 as he was expecting World 6 to go back in.
Because the combo is very obvious, right? It's when Nocturne goes in, Shen goes with Nocturne, because they both land on top of the target in melee range, and then Taunt goes through and you actually get the fear off during that CC combo.
Yeah.
That's usually where they'll maximize their damage output, and then meanwhile, Kled is charging at their face and Xiang is threatening in every direction, as is the Swain. Those two are just omnipresent bruisers that will deal physical and magic damage between them. But now, OMG aren't the perfect team. So they will make little oopsie-daisies like that.
Yeah, World 6 was only level 10, so didn't quite have the ability to get that max range. Looking at the gold right now as that turret goes down, it's even between top lane, 600 advantage for Alex. In the mid lane, 1,400 gold lead for Cool. And I believe LWX is a healthy amount of gold ahead of Chelly as well. But now the next dragon is spawning. That's another Infernal. FPX took the first. They're already setting up vision around the second.
They should be able to control this for the most part, OMG, at the beginning of this trade. Now, Gimgoon is on the top side of the map, which is the major difference here.
He's pinging onto the turret right now. The minion wave isn't quite there. All right, that'll do nicely.
Yeah, things will start to shift the other direction if the compositions continue as this goes out. Now, Cool will never want all in. Someone obviously is the Zoe, but chunking half the health away from an individual unlocks Gimgoon to feel more free in the top lane. Remember that Nara has been pushing bottom lane throughout all of this, so whilst he has proximity to the dragon, FPX have been able to poke them down as the health bars dwindle. OMG, their only game plan is engage. They can't afford to sit here and play games.
Well, this is serious business for OMG. Currently, they're not finding an entryway in. They do have the full combo ready with all of those ultimates, but Gimgoon was able to break down the top tier 1. He just wanted that wall to know what's up.
It feels like a glorified version of cat and mouse in these competitions. OMG are definitely the cat. They just want to, ram their heads at the mouse, but the mouse is too smart.
Tom and Jerry shenanigans.
I was thinking Tom and Jerry, but then I also forgot which one was which for half a second.
Tom is the cat.
Yep, but completely ejected that idea as I thought of it.
Oh, classic. You get yourself a frying pan with a cat-shaped face in it.
Yep.
From those classic television shows. Gosh.
Roadrunner was a banger.
Think about the life lessons we learned from that show. If you really hate something, do everything you can to try to get rid of it, and it will end up hurting you in the end.
But you also become friends with it, is what we did learn.
Yeah, eventually. Oh, that's right. They did end up being friends at the end of the series.
There's a bigger, greater evil out there that you're not thinking about at the time, And that's where they got really sentimental and it disengaged me.
When there were feelings involved, you just wanted to see the cat get beat up?
Well, I mean, by that time, I was also a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
They just timed
Not so invested anymore. Didn't that show come out in, like, the 70s? Does that make you, like, 40 right now if you were a teenager when that show?
Maybe, it got to the plot twists when I was watching it at that age in my life.
Sure,
So
sure.
I don't know if that
I know.
by proxy makes me 40.
I understand that reruns exist. I just think it's funnier with the juxtaposition of without that. But still, 23.5 minutes into the game, FPX dancing around, laying traps for OMG's Tomcat.
I guess the question here is who outscales who? And I think that is a lot of the side of FPX should be, theoretically outscaling their opponents. Firstly, they've got an AD carry where that is not matched by their respective opponents. They've got a Mundo, who when he hits 3 items will be pretty much unkillable. And he's on the way to that already with 2 done. And the Trundle, whilst he is not going to be dealing a lot of damage in late game, usually his damage is pretty much gone from this point onwards, has a lot of utility in diffusing OMG's comp. I will say that OMG's composition scales all game, forever and always, if they do their job as a composition, which is just to kill that carry immediately.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
LWX is the kind of play to get caught as well.
Up.
Vision doesn't matter when they've got a charge
Wait,
and an
OMG,
ultimate.
they're hesitating. They're hesitating.
No, they're waiting for him.
They've lost vision.
LWX.
They could have just all-in'd.
Yeah, but LWX is the kind of player to do that one extra wave. So maybe they were playing to his tendencies and they lost their window. Because that's true. LWX, he's called the shotgun for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, not only does he flash forward, he's an aggressive boy.
Whoops. There you go. Cool finishing off the blue buff. Yeah, the reason we call it sometimes you load up the shotgun, it bucks forward, focused scatter shot, destroys the target that he's aiming for. Sometimes the gun kicks back though, and it hits you in the face.
I like to think of him as the makeup gun, makeup shotgun from The Simpsons.
The makeup shotgun. Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
You haven't seen that episode? Nope. It's literally just a shotgun that shoots makeup on your face.
Shoots makeup.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone said that to Dom, please. I'm very shocked he hasn't seen that one.
I could see the use of having something like that as opposed to an actual shotgun, yeah. Very practical, but the next dragon is another Infernal. It's not spawning yet, but FPX have got 2 already, and OMG are the ones with the fighter composition. You gotta start to wonder, how much ground are OMG going to give up before FPX just outscale them?
I mean, that's the thing. With OMG's composition, we should also point out when they are strongest.
Okay.
And, naturally by having a bunch of bruisers there, the one takeaway that they have in terms of scaling is that Gnar will be a big side lane threat late game, especially if he goes towards, say, the Blade of the Ruin King, Quinzu's Rage Blade type of build. He'll always be a big deal. But for the rest of the composition, as bruisers, usually you hit that mid-game spike. The 2 items, the 3 items at most, and that's when you are going to be at your strongest before your opponents have damage and resistances so that they start to outscale you.
Ooh, that one still hit Shelly. Sorry, 5 down to half health. And OMG will make their way back to base. Already, though, FPX are starting to play around this Baron buff. They're starting to pull the attention of OMG into places that OMG do not want to be. They want to be picking people off one by one.
You know where they want to be, though? There's an Infernal Drake in 1 minute and 40 seconds. That is the 3rd one for FPX if they secure that. So I have a feeling that that's something that OMG have to go for. And you can see that FPX have said, why would we go to that Dragon when we can take a Baron during the time you set up for the Infernal? The game plan has shifted between these teams. OMG is caught between a rock and a hard place in that regard.
Both of those objectives pulling the attention. OMG will have to respond or come up with a response because right now FPX are just sitting back, scaling, controlling the map, and controlling the attentions of OMG. We do see some recalls completed by OMG. Black Cleaver finally finished off along with that Titanic Hydra for Icon. Shelly has finished his Leandries, so he's at 3 items. He's actually sitting pretty happy with the amount of farm that he's at.
Oh yeah, they're farming perfectly fine. I mean, across the board, there's a lot of CS values to be seen, even compared to their respective opponents. The only place that is drastically different is, of course, that middle lane. That is what happens when Cool gets a lot of early kills. And we said this at the very beginning, a lot of FPX lives and dies by Cool, a lot of OMG lives and dies by Icon. It's very easy to note that when Cool has a lead, FPX look like a significantly better team. As nice little block.
Good save. Just to keep that health topped up. 20 seconds left until the Infernal Dragon spawns. OMG are stacking up on this side of the map. World 6 and Xiong are there, but he does drop out of Mega.
He wants to be in a side lane, Xiong. FPX have assigned themselves around the Baron as the major priority, but they are starting to group up for this Infernal now. And they may just try and do it straight away upon the Dragon spawning. Mundo's been brought over. They've got a threat. They're feeling really confident with their item spikes. 3 on the AD. Good night.
Demonic Ascension. Sonya's Hourglass. Shelly even gets the stand united. Now Paranoia has been used. Everything has been used to protect Shelly just from Cool finding the pick and just from that mispositioning. FPX take the third Infernal.
3 Infernals on a Zoe composition. It just upsets me to see, and I cannot wait to see how much damage he'll be able to do. Even against the sturdy opponents that he's facing down. Be able to one-hit them potentially. This is a dangerous game that OMG have to play, and without that Nocturne ultimate, without that Shen ultimate, even the Swain ultimate gone. They've got Gnar, they've got Kled left. That is a part of their engage and a part of their team fighting still present. But can they really step up against their opponents here? I'm not sure they can.
Their window of opportunity to do that is absolutely closing. Real big items on the Lucian Zoe, 3 apiece. And LWX is prepping the side wave. Icon dodges away from that Battlestar. Flash Pillar onto Shelly. They're going for the secondary engage. Teleport from LWX to join in, and Redemption to help get the kill.
Actually secures the kill as well.
There's the flat damage you were talking about. Redemption, so strong.
Knocks it down now, FPX with that one pick. They're just picking at Shelly. He has no flash, had no ultimate, had no Zonias or stopwatch. And so they secure him. Great little play there from Alex, particularly on that Trundle with the flash pillar.
Now, Xiong is split pushing towards the bottom tier 2. He's got teleport, but Baron has been started by FPX. They're controlling the pit. World 6 has flash and smite, but can't get close, and Baron is taken. Now, the tier 2 was taken by Xiong on the far side, but still, OMG are dancing to the tune of FPX's fiddle.
Yeah, the Baron's free. It's completely secured at very minimal cost here as well. They're able to defend their middle lane outer turrets. They are so set up to succeed here. With Baron behind them, the opportunity to push, the opportunity to siege is now well and truly alive. There's a chance that Gimgoon actually groups up with the rest of his team. Because currently Gnar, he's not going to have many options here. If he continues to split push, I feel like FPX just take the base. So far ahead, they've really started to find themselves. And I know a lot of that isn't reflected through purely gold advantages. It's only 5,000, but with a Baron buff to empower your minions, with 3 Infernal Dragons, and with item spike timings coming across perfectly here for FunPlus Phoenix, they are fully engaged.
Oh yeah.
That's a death
FPX
cap.
engage. Oh man. Plus the triple Infernal. That Zoe is... and Electrocute, it should be noted. We talked about it at the beginning of the game. Now that's even more damage. Oh boy, there's a big minion wave crashing up. Suddenly OMG's dogpile composition wants nothing to do. They're dogpiling. They're going to look for the fight. They dive forward, and ooh, look at the burst damage coming across. LWX is just kiting happily around. Cool goes low to the Ignite. Shelly will get the kill with the Demon Flare, but LWX zones away. Xiong on the backside. The remaining members of Icon 5 and Shelly are running down to their inhibitor turret. Doesn't even care about this inhib anymore. Never move on to Chris, prevents him from going in. They finally get the knock-up, lock-up onto Shelly, and Gimgoon is still tanking the turret. Easy chase from FPX to run down these kills.
Go towards the inhibs, man. FPX, they'll get the team fight victory, and they will really rub salt into those wounds. Now they press forwards. LWX with no health, but a Guardian Angel, perhaps looking for the finish.
Yeah, they're looking for the dive right now. Icon under the Nexus turrets is forced to back away as Chris dances in and out of the aggro. GA has been popped on LWX. That's a lot of the damage. Xiong does get that mega. He's got the slam, pins him to the wall, but Gimgoon has finished off the turret. The Nexus itself is bare, and FPX, they can't even catch him racing through their own base. Finally, he gets the slow. They land the Executioner's Calling, and will chase down the kill onto Icon, but that entire base just got ravaged by FPX.
The raid boss is down, but the cost is way too high here for OMG. We'll see the fight again. Of course, it starts off with OMG only having one direction in their team composition, and so they commit to that style. Now, Xiong, he scooped a whoops him, unfortunately not to the wall, and the LWX does fail flash on the backside. I didn't want to mention it, but the observers went over towards it in the replay. So here we are. And now we get to watch Mundo montage.
1, 2, 3 turret shots.
It's not going to end.
5.
He's pretty much gaining health through all of this. Of course, Gargoyle's Stone Plate, a big part of that.
8 turret shots.
Thank you, Count.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. But now super minions coming down the mid lane. And FPX, they already had the advantage going into the last fight. Now, if they win a fight, it's game over.
I mean, straight down the middle lane would be the game plan for FPX if they want to just end this one immediately. With no Baron to look at, Cloud Dragon the next Drake as well. They can set up their side lanes for certain, you know, get those slow pushes going on. But with how strong they are over their opponents, what's to stop them from just walking it down the middle lane with super minions and threatening the end? You know full well that OMG's response to your grouping will be to all-in engage on you. So you know that fact, you work around that fact and get yourself the team fight victory. And I will say that the deterrent to that may well be that LWX doesn't have GA, doesn't have Flash, and he is the MVP. He is the person that needs to stay alive if they want to end the game. But Cool has summoners.
He does.
Cool could probably 1v5.
He's got the Sonyas now. He very well could be able to. And there is a ward in the base. That's what the observers were just showing us. World 6 is hovering inside of his high ground, knowing that there could be a teleport, and he needs to try and deny that. FPX, they bring the minion wave. They don't have Baron, but at this point, they don't quite need it.
They need that mega. Oh, God.
The damage. Oh, Shelly runs back to the base to try and heal up, and another hit onto Xiang. Even the Ignite. Culling 5 is trying to tank it, but that's the chase onto the Nexus already. Alex walks forward. Here's the all-in. Stand United and the Paranoia. They stack the AoE. Do they have enough? LWX is cutting it out in the back as Icon goes in. Shelly doing what he can, but it's not enough. As LWX throws down the health bars of OMG. Cool doing so much damage, and Gimgoon single-handedly tanking 2 people. As FPX win the fight and turn on to the Nexus, breaking it down and taking game number 1.
And at 35 minutes on the dot, as the clock goes, they're able to take down their opponents here at OMG, and it felt like no hassles at all for them. Honestly, they got themselves the lead. They did get the Dragon RNG, and the stars had aligned for FPX in this first game of the series. In a battle for 5th place in their conferences, they're trying to get the highest that they possibly can. FPX start on the right foot forwards. OMG, that was tragic. I respect the idea in their composition. I respect the philosophy of what they wanted to achieve, but nothing to be seen.
Very tough chase from OMG to try to catch up to FPX, but like you said, the dogpile composition just hesitating a few moments when they didn't quite need to, and that ends up costing them as FPX are able to close it out playing nice and slow off of the massive damage that LWX did at 20,000.5 and 27,000 Zoe damage 35 minutes into the game.
There's a lot of damage coming out of the Zoe there. Cool is able to have a pretty good game for himself. Cool is one of those players that if he's doing well, the team seems to do well as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the success of FPX does revolve around him. He was brought into the team for a reason, and that calm, level-headed communication is something that he's able to provide. I mean, you give that a lead, then it's a lot easier to be calm and communicate your way to victory.
And that almost seems to juxtapose the style that FPX were known for. They were the fiery, chaotic team that would get elbow deep into these fights and get nice and messy. But like you said, Cool, he was brought in to attempt to temper that and to slow it down. When it succeeds, it looks great. 750, approximately, damage per minute out of Cool Zoe. That is a huge amount of damage over the course of the entire game.
And I would expect to see him get the MVP in that first game as well, to be honest with you. Cool having a very good showing. Now, I will say that some other members that won't get MVP that should be commended through this would be the support of Crisp. I thought Rakan had a very good game for himself and was able to set them up to succeed.
You say that.
Oh, yes!
But guess who gets the MVP?
It knows.
Crisp 1, and 11.
I'm
it was
shocked.
Hilarious. You were saying, I think he should get the MVP. I think if someone would get it, it would be Crisp. And I heard in my ear from our wonderful little voice in our ear telling us that it was Crisp who got it.
I'm shocked, because that never happens.
Huge engages.
He's 1-1-11. The scoreline doesn't look flattering for him. None of the stats besides kill participation really stand out for him, and it's his first MVP of the split. So I am surprised to actually see that one go across, especially considering the amount of damage that Cool was able to do. But the one thing that has to be spoken towards, you know, why is he MVP? What did he do that went above and beyond? Is he was counter-engaging perfectly. He was always in the correct position at the correct timing, and he did so much work for FPX.
Good setup for FPX to take that game 1. We'll see if they can close out the series in game 2 or if we're going to game 3. But first, we're going to take a quick break.
凤凰的精神就是不畏挑战，燃烧青春。